What is going on, everyone? This is Summer the Two, welcoming guys to our first team builder video here for week 2 of the LDL, the Lonely Draft League, over on TLTPG's channel. This week, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be facing Isaac and I believe the Seattle Onix. And Isaac, looking at the screen, as you guys do see, Isaac has an extremely scary team. I'm going to quickly go over his mons, let you know my thoughts on him, and and then we'll go over our team and stuff like that. But before we go ahead and do that, please leave a like down below, because I do greatly appreciate it. If you guys do not know what what TLTPG is, or what the LDL is, I will leave a link to the description of both of those in the description down below. But let's go ahead and start looking at Isaac's team here. He drafted really well, honestly. Isaac, if you guys do not know, is Blazing Squid's younger brother, who unfortunately we lost last week to in a 3-0 defeat. And so I know that Squid always helps Isaac team build, no matter who he faces, unless it's himself. So because of that, it's almost like we have to face Squid twice. Because, you know, they're brothers and they think a lot alike, and so some of their gimmicks and ideas are the same. But without further ado, let's go ahead and look at this team. He has Tapu Koko on his team, and Tapu Koko is an incredibly powerful mon, getting up that electric terrain, able to hit thunderbolts harder than it usually would be able to, also not being able to put anything to sleep. Also is a fairy type, being able to hit stuff like stuff with Get Dies and Gleam, but it can also be physical with like Brave Bird, Wild Charge, and stuff like that, so I definitely have to be careful with that kind of stuff. Next up, we have Latios, a Pokemon that I had last season on my team. I didn't really use it that much, but Latios is a wonderful defogger, has 2 impressive stabs in Dragon and Psychic type, able to drop probably some of the hardest hitting Life Orb Draco Meteors out there in the league format right now. So it's definitely really difficult, considering that Latios and Tapu Koko both have over base 110 speed, or if Latios hits base 110 speed, which definitely does make things a little bit more interesting for us. But next up, he has Tyranitar. Can be extremely bulky, can be extremely hard hitting. Great dual stab typings in Rock and Dark, which definitely give my Alakazam a run for its money. So I could definitely have to make sure that I don't get pursuit trapped by it if I do, as you guys will see that with who we bring. Able to get up the sand for the next Pokemon, in Excadrill, which he got the sand team of Tyranitar and Excadrill. Those two together are extremely scary. You get Excadrill in the sand, Sand Rush comes through, and it almost outspeeds and one-shots everything that you ever have. And it's also, if it doesn't choose to do that, or if he chooses to do that, it can Scarf it, it can be Banded, it can be Life Orb, it can be Air Balloon. There's so many different things that he can potentially do with this thing. He could even Sash it if he really wants to. It can even be his Rapid Spinner and Rock Setter if he chooses, alongside Tyranitar. Moving on down the list, we have Rotom Heat. Rotom Heat not being as popular as its brother Rotom Wash, but still is able to do a lot of work against us, in the fact that it has 2 dual typings in Electric and Fire, being able to hit stuff like Overheat and Volt Switch out. It can be run. It's more so run defensively than anything, but it can Thunder Wave. It can burn us with Will-O-Wisp, and it also has the ability of Levitate, so Earthquakes will not be able to do anything to it, unfortunately. But next up, we have Alolan Muck. Which is really interesting, because Alolan Muck is one of Pokemon that I've always wanted to use as well, but I've just never could fit it in any team that I could build. But looking at Alolan Muck can be extremely bulky and extremely hard hitting, kind of like how our Goodra is. It can just pop on an Assault Vest and still be physically defensive, to the point where it can hit stuff like with Poison Jab. I think it gets access to Crunch. I know it gets Shadow Sneak, so there's just different moves out there that we definitely have to watch out for. More than likely, we'll be running its, what's it called? Poison Touch ability. I believe getting a 30% chance to poison any Pokemon it makes contact with, which could be definitely troublesome for us. Next up on his list is Buzzwole, the Ultra Beast, the all-powerful muscles of an Ultra Beast. I think it rocks a 150 attack stat, which is insane, but it's typing a Bug and Fighting type, really makes it weak to flying type moves. as well as its speed stat does not do it any good. But considering that it is such a hard-hitting mon, if he puts a Z crystal on this thing and we switch out on the wrong thing, he could definitely like Fightinium Z us or Poisonium Z us on many different things, because I know he carried Poison Jab, Poisonium Z on this thing last week, and so that's just something to definitely look out for. Moving on, we have Lapras, which is more of a bulky wall. Not the best typing with water and ice, but enough bulk to where you can either run an Assault Vest set on it, or if you want to be that guy or that girl, you know, Pokemon trainers, unisex. But if you wanted to, you could run a Weakness Policy set on that, take a hit, and then start hitting back extremely hard. Well, it's not something I do expect him to bring. It's something to definitely be on the lookout for. Moving on, we have his Mega Pokemon, a Mega Pidgeot. Mega Pidgeot, of course, being extremely fast on his team as well, getting that No Guard ability, allowing him to land those Hurricanes, and with the 50% chance to confuse us. It's something I really don't want to do. It can also get access to stuff like Heat Wave, U-Turn, of course, and it's just something to really look out for. Something to really look out for, especially if he does carry Heat Wave, which I believe he will. I believe he'll be bringing that with Heat Wave. Next up, we have Miss Magius, who is Gengar's little sister, or like his cousin or something like that. Rocking in, I believe, an impressive 105 base special attack, special defense, and speed, while HP, attack, and defense are on the lower side of things. I think it's base 85 in the other areas, if not lower. But extremely scary of a mon. It has a very wide move pool. It can substitute Nasty Plot on us, as well as even carry stuff like Mystical Fire, Energy Ball, or Magical Leaf. I can't remember if it's both or if it's one or the other. Shadow Ball is something, of course, we got to look out for with Miss Magius. So definitely a scary threat, could potentially sweep our team if we're not careful. And finally on his list, we have Shaman, who was a part of the LDL Season 2 champion, the Salt Lake City Swampers. He was a part of the winning victory team, and it sucks because I hate going up against Shaman just because I know how well it can be used. Really diverse move pool, and the fact that it can get it can be run physical or special with Seed Bomb or Seed Flare, Earth Power, Dazzling Gleam, Hidden Powers, of course, substitute Leech Seed. Really scary mon for sure to handle if you do not have the right preparations. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our team. Actually, you know what? Let me backtrack for a second. And looking at his team right now, I believe, I do see the sand coming just because Excadrill does handle a lot of Pokemon on our team. So I do see Tyranitar coming, wanting to set up the sand, wanting to set up rocks against us, potentially seeing that Excadrill come. Rotom Heat, Mega Pidgeot, Shaman, and I believe either Latios or Tapu Koko Scarfed. That's definitely what I see happening. But as you guys see from my end, I don't have a Scarfer this week, which is extremely scary to say, because I didn't have a Scarfer last week, which is how I ended up losing the battle. So the fact that I don't have a Scarfer again this week, it just worries me. But if you guys must know, I did team build with my buddy Arthur Excalibur, who did an amazing job in his week 1 and week 2 video battles. If you guys do not know who Arthur Excalibur is, I will leave a link in the description over to his channel, so you guys can go ahead and check him out. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get onto our team, because it is an extremely fun team. First up on the screen, that as you guys do see, we have our Entei, 252 attack, 252 speed, 4 in special defense, and adamant nature. And this is the set that you usually do see on Entei, especially because if you want moves like Extreme Speed and I believe Sacred Fire, maybe it was Flare Blitz, I can't remember exactly which one. But this is an event from Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Diamond and Pearl, if I'm not mistaken, way back. No, Black and White when they were first released as well. And this is the only potential chance that you can get Extreme Speed, I know for sure, on this Entei. It needs to be shiny, and it needs to be adamant natured, which sucks because we can't take advantage of that 100 base speed of his. It's a little bit lower because he is adamant. But as you guys do see, he's holding the Shuckaberry, Arthur is really trying to get me to use more and more berries as we team build and stuff, because berries honestly do save Pokemon through and through. And so we have the Shucka Berry on that thing to allow us to handle earthquakes from Excadrill if we need to stay in on it, and Sacred Fire him, or something like the Tyranitar if he does carry Earthquake, or just something along those lines if an Earth type move does come out, or even an Earth Power from Shaman. We'll be able to take that and hit back extremely hard. But we have Sacred Fire on it for Tapu Koko, I believe, with not even banded. This Entei can one-shot a Tapu Koko unless it has some defensive or HP investment. Of course, it can take out the Excadrill. It can easily handle Buzzwole. Mega Pidgeot, I don't think is going to be living. Shaman, of course, doesn't want to take that. We have Extreme Speed on there for that priority. I'm a man. I am a player that loves his priority on his teams, just because that priority always comes in so clutch at the best times to revenge kill, or even get that last final kill if you're not choiced into something. Iron Head, more so for, I want to say, the Tyranitar, just to get those flinches and a little bit more super effective moves on it. When we have Stone Edge, just in case for the Rotom Heat, because that's really the only thing that we can hit Rotom Heat with super effectively. I like this set a lot. It's something different, because like I said before in our recap video, I've always run Entei mainly banded. And like on a very few occasions I ran it Scarfed. It was like my situation with Terrakion last season. I always, like every single battle, I think... No, every single battle except my last battle, I brought Terrakion banded just because of the pure power that it can dish out, and it was kind of the same situation for Entei, so the fact that I'm not running it banded is different. But then again, it does allow me to switch things up, and I can fake the band or the scarf if I absolutely need to. But moving on now, we have our Faye, the Sylveon, making her debut as well, holding the Pixie Plate. 40 in speed, I believe, to outspeed a min speed. It was either Buzzwole or a Lowland Muck, if I'm not mistaken. But it's to outspeed one of those two. I'll have to double check. But we're rocking out with 252 HP, just to make it as bulky as we can with still having power. We have 4 in defense. 212 in special attack, because we still want to hit like a truck. Holding that Pixie Plate, like I said, with the Pixelate ability, turning normal type moves into fairy type moves. Modest Nature, just to hit extra hard. It can definitely handle the Tapu Koko. It can handle the Latios, the Tyranitar. Hyper Voice at this range can to hit the Excadrill, as long, like, if the only thing is, we just got to make sure that we catch it on the switch in to actually do over 50% to this thing. Lowland Mug, I think it does neutral too, so we can hit that decently hard unless it's an Assault Vest set. Buzzwole is absolutely getting obliterated. Mega Pidgeot, I don't believe one takes it, and it gives us a good switch into things, as well as we're carrying Heal Bell on it for any potential burns, poisons from Muck, from Rotom Heat, and stuff like that. We have Wish on there to gain back our bulk, or even, I really debated on wanting to bring Baton Pass here, but if we're able to switch into a Mon and get the Wish off prior, we're going to be able to get our health back, and just really extend the life of our Mons even more. And Arthur and I really debated on the last move, so I was like, oh, we should throw the Baton Pass on there, it's the best thing. And then I was thinking Quick Attack for more priority, because you guys would not believe how many times the Sylveon Quick Attack has come clutch for me back in like VGC. I want to say it was like 2016, 2015 or something like that. It was really back in the day, and like it saved my life a couple of times, so that's why I wanted to put that. But then we decided, well, even if you're not able to Hyper Voice sometimes can get the 50%, it sometimes can't. I think it's actually a roll. And so we were looking at it, it's like we can hit the if you want to, that Rotom Heat is probably going to be the main answer to Sylveon, considering that Fire does resist Fairy. And so I suggested, how about Hidden Power Water? And we looked at the calcs, and I believe we can two-shot this, we can two-shot the Rotom Heat, and we still have something to hit the Excadrill with, even if the Excadrill wants to switch in on the Sylveon. So it's just a little bit more coverage, and it's just one of those moves that you would never expect for Sylveon to have, especially with this type of set. So it's going to be fun, and hopefully that Hidden Power Water does definitely play out, and we are able to outspeed either the Buzzwole or the Lapras. I'm pretty sure it was the Buzzwole, because the Buzzwole Poisonium Z is what we were worried about in the first place. Next up on our list, we have Scotty, our Weavile, making her return. Very different set this week. Very, very different set. We have Weavile holding the Assault Vest this week, and that's very, very strange when you think of a Weavile, but here, you gotta really hear us out on this. Even though its special defense isn't the best, an Assault Vest on this Weavile is actually able to take a Heat Wave as well as, where was it? As well as a Dazzling Gleam from Tapu Koko. A Dazzling Gleam from Tapu Koko and a Shaman, as well as a Heat Wave from Mega Pidgeot, which is crazy to think. Which will definitely allows us to hit back with whatever we have. We have, as you guys do see, we have Knockoff just for general stab and knocking off any items we want to. We have Ice Shard for priority. It's able to, I think it's able to knock out the Mega Pidgeot. It's able to knock out the Latios if we do a little bit of chip damage on it, which we will be able to do, as you guys will see later on. Poison Jab, like I said, for that Tapu Koko. And that Shaman more so than not, and Low Kick primarily for that Tyranitar, easily gets the knockout. As you guys do see, we have Sped Crept. I believe it was the Latios on this one. We put 228 in speed. Yeah, it was the Latios to make sure we always outspeed by 1 unless it Dragon Dances or it's Scarfed. We have 252 in attack, 4 in defense, and we put all the rest in special defense just to guarantee extra special defense bulk with this Assault Vest set. I'm really happy that this set kind of works out because it allows Weavile to kind of come in, eat a hit from something that you really wouldn't expect it to eat a hit from, like say the Tapu Koko or something like that, and really is, I think it's really going to catch Isaac by surprise. And if we are able to knock out something like the what would be something that we would love to knock out? The Tapu Koko, of course. If it Dazzling Gleams us, we eat that hit up and we Poison Jab it and we knock it out, like turn 1 or something to bluff a Scarf. That would be wild. That would absolutely be wild for sure. But yeah, that is our Weavile for this week. Coming up next, we actually have 3 Scoops coming back once again. 3 Scoops is going to be having a very different role this week on our team, as he is our defensive wall, as you guys do see. Oh, I forgot to mention on Scotty, we are doing Jolly Nature to guarantee the outspeeding on the Latios, so there's that for you. But going back to the Conkeldurr, he is our defensive wall for the week. He is not living anything on the special side, but everything on the physical side, you know he is living. We got 240 in HP, we got 16 in attack, and 252 in defense. Adamant Natured Iron Fist set with Citrus Berry just so he can stay on the field a little bit longer. It really makes those 2-hit KOs, 3-hit KOs on him on the physical side with Bulk Up, because let me tell you something, even at this range, a Drain Punch from this thing with barely any investment, Adamant Nature knocks out the Tyranitar, knocks out the Excadrill, and so if we're able to push that a little bit further and get 1 bulk up off, we're sitting really good in defense, we're sitting really good with attack for sure, and you know, it's going to take a special mon to really handle us, and only the real special mons on there are Tapu Koko, Latios, Rotom Heat, and Lapras with Mega Pidgeot, but we have and Mismagius and sometimes Shaman. Well, it's like half of his team, yeah, but I mean, it's a really good defensive wall. Because we're carrying Drain Punch to make sure that we can you know, regain health as much as we can. We have Mach Punch once again for priority for stuff like that Tyranitar, the Excadrill, to even potentially break sashes and stuff, and then we have Knockoff once again just for more coverage and to knock off more items. And this set, at first I was a little bit skeptical on, but I was the one that originally brought it up, just because I don't really have a nice defensive mon as of yet on my team. There's like 1 or 2, but none that are like, oh yeah, this is just a wonderful defensive mon all around. So the fact that 3 Scoops can be used this way, I'm really enjoying it. It looks like, I feel like it's gonna do really well. If I can get 1 bulk up off, I would love it, but I gotta be careful and make sure that when it comes to going for the bulk up, I know that I can live the next turn, or if he's switching out into a special mon, I can live whatever attack it's going to be handling to me, which probably isn't going to be the case. So if I can catch him on the right switch in, or like a double switch in and stuff, and get that bulk up off, we should be good. Coming up next, as another defensive wall, we are going to be having a Walnut, our Fortress, joining us for the first time, making his debut, holding that IAPA berry, making sure that he, even if he is critted or if he is hit on the special side with Sturdy, he holds on, he gets that IAPA berry, gains back 50% of his health, fully special defensive, 252 HP, 252 defense, relaxed nature, lowering that speed, and with 0 speed investments, with 4 special defense just in case. But we're rocking out with Stealth Rock and Rapid Spin, as I do see him wanting to set up rocks for stuff like Entei and our Revile, and to break the Sturdy on Walnut. But then we have Slow Volt Switcher with Fortress, just in case he wants to switch out. We can still do decent amount of damage, then switch out into something that gives us the momentum, and then Gyro Ball, because while he does have Excadrill and Rotom Heat, which are mainly going to be the primary switch-ins, Walnut here with Gyro Ball, he, like, for Isaac's team, he doesn't really have good, like, steel call-ins besides those two mons. If I switch in, if I'm able to get a Gyro Ball off, you know, there's not a lot of things that he can resist, and I think that this Gyro Ball actually two-shots the Tapu Koko with the 0 speed investment, which is actually kind of wild if you ask me, you guys. It's kind of freaking wild. But yeah, it's there to be a Rapid Spinner to set up rocks, as we do see Tapu Koko, Rotom Heat, Buzzwole, Lapras, and I think Mega Pidgeot all take 25% from rocks. If I'm wrong on that, I'm sorry. I'm not the best with typings and all that stuff, so if I'm wrong on that, my apologies, but I think I'm right on that. So 5 of his mons could almost half of his team could potentially be subjective to rocks, which is really, really nice, because it, like I said, it allows those really close rolls end up being one-hit knockouts, especially if we force him into a position where he continuously has to switch out and take damage from those rocks. We gain a wonderful advantage for sure. Finally, on our team, as you guys have seen, we have a lot of physical. We only have really one special attacker, so we are going to be bringing Gus, our Mega Alakazam, back, doing a lot more work this week than he did last week. We're going to be running a Modest Nature once again here. 244 speed in it. Running 244 speed and Modest Nature allows us to still outspeed the Tapu Koko, which is just wild in my opinion, having that base 150. That base 150 speed right off the back is incredible. It's so powerful to have that. We have, of course, we have to run, it's a full 4 move set. We have Psychic, Shadow Ball, Energy Ball, Dazzling Gleam, Psychic, of course, for things like the Buzzwole, as well as just general damage on any other mon that wants to switch in. We have Shadow Ball, of course, for the Latios, for the Mismagius. We have Energy Ball to hit the Tyranitar, the Excadrill, which I believe is still 2 shots, even if it is neutral damage on the Excadrill. We do at least 50% to it. Neutral damage on the Lapras. I'm not sure how much that does. And then we have Dazzling Gleam, which definitely hits the Tyranitar, the Latios, and the Alolan Muck decently hard, as long as, once again, nothing is Assault Vested. But Gus really does come in clutch this week for us. Not because of his moveset, not because of his power, but more so because of his trace ability. Because if you guys think about this for a second, if we switch in and we know that we outspeed the Excadrill and the Sand's not up, we can trace that Sand Rush. Tyranitar comes in at a later date, or he wants to switch into the Tyranitar. We trace that Sand Rush still. We're outspeeding everything forever and ever. Or if we want, we can have Mold Breaker on Excadrill, from Excadrill, if he decides to run that. We can get Poison Point from Alolan Muck. We can get Beast Boost, which would be really freaking wild if we were able to get Beast Boost off from Buzzwole, because anything that we knock out, we get an instant special attack boost. Or if not a speed boost, no, a special attack boost for sure. Mega Pidgeot, we would get No Guard, which would be cool if we didn't have, if we had Focus Blast, but we're not this week. But that would have been a cool situation. Serene is not on Shaman, but yeah, so you get my point. Like, Trace could really come in handy for us if we play our cards right with Alakazam. But there's the team right there, you guys. Let me know what you all think about our team in the comments down below. Do you guys think that we stand a chance this week against Isaac because Blazing Squid is helping him build because he's his little brother? Do you think our team is built well enough? Should we have brought a Scarfer? Let me know your thoughts down below. This video will be going up, I want to say, you should be seeing it Saturday afternoon because Isaac and I will be battling Saturday morning. So hopefully you guys will see this video Saturday and the main video uploaded on Sunday so you guys can see that. But I'm going to get up out of here. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up down below for your thumb, bro. And if you enjoyed the content and you want to see more of this, definitely go ahead and body slam that subscribe button. But without further ado, guys, I'm going to get up out of here. My name is Sunbrother2, and I'll see you guys later.